And to be honest, I've never really even left this region of England that I'm from, but I can definitely change that in this coming year. And also, for as long as I live, I might not have a year to live. I might die in a freak accident, but that doesn't mean that I can't go out my way to have those intentions to go and travel. I might not even have a week. I might not even have a day. But that doesn't mean that I can't go out and go and enjoy my life. At least for however long left I've got. I don't have a terminal illness or anything like that, but that doesn't make me medically exempt from dying. I'm not invincible, I am immortal, and that's how I will stay for the rest of my life. I'd like to clarify, I didn't say immortal, I said a mortal. Anyway, these goals I have planned are to travel nationally and eventually even further internationally than I would have done this year. Are plans that I've gone out my way to go and achieve gradually by further exploring within the region of England I'm currently in to then go further. So, I'll see how that goes. I'm even thinking of going out to travel further than I have done, or just outside really of where I'm at, far away, so I can go and enjoy myself elsewhere. Go and see different, go to different environments because I like to see what it's like in different places. Now, with where I work, I've been told that there are places in particular far from where I've ever been before in my life in England that, according to them, are quite pleasant in terms of the community. So I think that that would therefore imply that there's a high community spirit in said areas. So I can definitely go out my way to go and see if that's the case, that from experience anyway. That said, I think I have found more pleasant communities than and less antisocial communities compared to where I'm currently living though. So I definitely think that's a start. Anyway, I have many more other goals than this, which I won't get onto right now because I want to talk about this channel. So here goes. Within the space of a year, I definitely have recorded quite a few videos. In the past, I have thought of doing 100 videos a month, which would essentially be 4 videos a day. So in theory, if I had kept up for every single month that this channel's existed for, then this channel's video count would be on 3,000 videos or more since I created this channel on the 29th of December 2021. So from that date to the end of the month was only 2 days. So I'll say we started from January 2022 to now. If I do the maths, that's from January 2022 to August 2024. So that's 2 years and 8 months. Now, if you do the maths, that's 24 months plus 8 months. Times 100 would be how many videos I would have liked to have made, which would be 2,400 videos if you did 24 times 10. And also, wait, hold on. If you times it by 100, sorry, and then 8 times 100, so that'd be 2,400 plus 800, which would be 3,200 videos, at least by the end of the month, seeing as it is the 1st of August. But this channel's video count is at 2,500, if I remember correctly, at least the last time I checked, which was probably a week or so ago, or maybe even a few days ago. I think I was quite egotistical with video count because in my mind more meant better, because I didn't feel happy with my mum saying that I wasn't doing anything with my life, so that was my way of proving to myself, falsely I'd say now, that I am. doing something with my life. This video account that I've got on this channel essentially is rebellion against my mum. Because I felt furious. I felt furious at the idea that she was telling me how productive I was being in my life before she even went out of her way to go and ask. In a polite fashion anyway. She believed that no job basically means no use. Now, especially seeing as parents, I'd imagine, would view children as an investment, what sense does it make, especially from a business perspective, for an individual that you would have raised for decades to then be, in your mind, of no use? I can now, even though I have no children of my own, I can understand why why parents in particular would want to be controlling. Because in their mind they'd have a whole load of ammo on those kids because they raised them for so and so years and they changed their nappies and all of that. You didn't ask to be here, but I can understand. And going back to what I was saying, I think my mum in particular would view what society, at least on the whole, at least for the working class, would consider success as success, objectively speaking, when in reality, working and viewing that as success is no more than just an opinion. In my parents' eyes, as far as I'm concerned, if it would be obvious to them that I had more money coming in, that would then mean that's better because it then showed that their business investment, my existence, was of more use, in theory, because it seemed like from a societal perspective I'm of more use because I'd be having more money due to providing more service to potentially to more people, or a high quality service to more people than I would have otherwise done if I were to have a minimum wage job or just about above minimum wage job. But with a job which would have a higher salary is a job that I wouldn't necessarily consider a job that's worth having, because you might like one might like having a job that's just about above minimum wage or even minimum wage, especially depending on where they come from country wise. But on the other hand, if a person's making 6 figures plus, especially after tax, they might want to kill themselves because their way of life might just be one that they value unbearably depressing. So they might want to pick up the knife or the gun, depending of their procedure that they want to pick when it comes to killing themselves. I just don't think that way of thinking is necessarily a way of thinking that I'd want to take with myself, for myself, later on down the line, and for any kids that I'd like to have, or that I would eventually have later on down the line if I do. But due to how my parents have raised me, I don't want to have any kids in this stage of my life. But from a carnal perspective, especially with hormone changes, I'd imagine that this current opinion of mine might change, because after enough lusting over women, I might think that would be something that I would be interested in, especially if I were to have a romantic relationship with a lady for long enough, because as I'd be around specific people for long enough, I'd imagine that I'd take on their viewpoints more than if I wasn't around them. And although that would be a gradual process that would be happening, which would be relevant to child making and child raising, because that lady who I might be dating might recommend that we'd have kids for her own selfish, self-centered sake, to view herself as a success through being a mum, regardless of how high quality her services are. I've seen a lady or two on YouTube valuing the idea of wanting to be a mum. But it seems like these ladies in particular, whose YouTube links I forgot, which I would even say anyway if I hadn't remembered, doesn't seem like they'd care to think or outwardly convey how they would go out their way to be a mum that's worth being around. And I think the same way ladies would think about wanting to give birth and raise kids might be the same way that we as males, especially 20 and up, would think about impregnated women. Like once that's done, once the impregnation's done, you just go about your business. And perhaps ladies would think the same way with like childbirth and raising them. Just as long as it seems like they're doing okay enough, then that's that. It doesn't seem like they might think that there's no need for improvement beyond that point, even though the child might think otherwise. Hence, there could be a lot of space for disputes and arguments between children and parents, especially if the relationship between the parents and the children is quite purposeless between each other from parent to child, especially if they don't come together on a daily basis and maybe even a weekly basis, talking about what they might not and what they might like and how they want to move forward when it comes to the relationship that they would want to have with each other from parent to child. But so be it. If they grow up to be what most of society would deem terrible parents, then there isn't much I can do about that. That doesn't have anything to do with me unless it's their children that are interacting with me. Now although I'm childless, there are some children around me that are family, and I definitely would not like the idea of them trying to pressure me into having more kids. I definitely think that there might be more societal pressure, especially as at an age, to have children, but I just don't